We're here with Bud Gray from Petoskey, Michigan. Bud is the race promoter for the 2006 Hotshoe 100 that is being hosted at the Whittemore Speedway on August 5th and 5th and 6th in Upper Michigan. We're here with Bud and Rev It Up Racing. How are you today, Bud?
Real good.
Can you tell us a little bit what the Hotshoe 100 actually is?
It's a 100 lap modified. They're the big deal or whatever. I mean, there's other cars involved, but it's for modifieds. Just a 100 lap race. It raises money for the Northern Michigan Cancer Crusaders there to help cancer patients get to their treatments and any kind of help like that they need.
Now, like I said, you're going into the third year. Excuse me, the third year of the Hotshoe. How did the Hotshoe come about?
The biggest thing was just me and my dad and stepmom. We were just kind of brainstorming one day at our cabin up north, and we always have to travel so far to go to any place to race. It's been such a struggle around here lately that with car counts being low, and we're about the competition part of it. We want to race against the best cars there is and the most cars, and we just wanted to put a good event on. So I thought, if we did something like this, we'd get a bunch of cars and have a good time and raise some money, and it was all just sitting around talking.
Now, like you say, with going into next week, like you say, it's only really just over a week away. What is your count for the cars?
Right now our count sits at 64, but there's 2 cars that have withdrawn from it. They had some issues there, gotten wrecks or whatever, tore up. So we were at 62, and then I had 5 guys from Ohio contact me yesterday, and another guy from Spartan Speedway contact me today. So, that puts us back up to, 66 or so.
And where, like you say, when will you take registrations, and is there somewhere you'll cap it off at?
No, we won't cap it off at nothing. We'll as many as want to come, we'll have them all.
Now, did you expect, like, say, going around and, say, probably sitting around having a few beers at the cabin talking about doing this, did you ever think it would be this big, this fast?
No. I mean, this is, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's, 60-some cars in one class at a racetrack nowadays, it's kind of unheard of.
And mostly in the economy today, right?
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
Mostly with how the economy is right now, and like I say, in northern Ontario, because we're not far from you, Whittemore and Michigan. Like I say, with the economy the way it is, 64 cars right now is really, really good.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it's and it's we put the deal on, and it's we sell raffle tickets for this thing, and that's what generates the revenue to pay it, and in that modified portion of the race there, I mean it's it's upwards of $38,000, I believe, that we'll be paying out between the A, B, and C features, and we couldn't do none of it if if the racers didn't come and didn't support it, we couldn't do it. And we had some guys this year, that really stepped up, to help sell the tickets, the raffle tickets, and that's and that's what we have to do in order to make this happen. I mean, we have to sell those tickets. I mean, that pays the purse, and the Speedway has really stepped up this year to help out a lot. The folks at iCar there, I mean, they come on board again with us, to have an iCar points event, which helps. And it's there's just a lot of people working together to make it happen, and it's a pretty cool deal. I mean, for the last couple of days here until all the way up till the race, it's my phone's going crazy. My Facebook Messenger, all that stuff is crazy, and by the time the race gets here, you're thinking, boy, what do you do this for? And then when you look out and see all those cars, you're like, yep, that's exactly why I do it.
Exactly. I mean, and I've been with Rev It Up Racing. We started it last summer through another sports website I have, and this talking in Northern Ontario, or like say in Michigan, if you mention the Gray family, it's everybody knows you guys for racing. So between like yourself, your son, and your father. There's a lot of racing experience there, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's I guess I can't say for every father, but I mean I know for my dad, that to be able to race, like he did, and then for me to get to be able to and compete against my own son. I mean, it was that's all I wanted to do in racing from the time I had my son was get to the point where he'd want to race too and be competitive, and he's really taken off with it pretty well, and he's ran real strong last year and this year as well, and it's just been a great deal for me for the last 24 years of my life racing cars around northern Michigan and southern Michigan and Indiana, and it's I can't I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I've made a lot of friends with it, and I have more fun when I'm not racing. We go to the races, and if we don't go to the races and I'm not racing, we're talking about racing. So it's just what we do.
Now, if I was to ask Bud Jr., like you say, if he was in behind the seat and you're behind the seat, who's the better driver?
Oh, I would say nowadays it would be him. I mean, the young lads like that. I mean, their reflexes and stuff are so much faster, and it's and the equipment that he's got versus the stuff that we've had over the years. I mean, he's by far and away better now than I ever was.
Now, like say with Facebook and Twitter and like say all the social media getting it out there, you decided I know you put it out there last week if you were to get 10 cars, you'd do an ABC class, and as of this morning, I think there's 22 cars. Is that new this year?
Yeah, it's the first year we did it. We tried to do which we called the street stocks or ABC type cars like that, and we didn't get a very good turnout with it, and there was a lot of complaining or whatever. The cars were not very equal. So this ABC format where we're going to be able to have enough cars to split it so guys can race against guys that are comparable to them in times, it should be a good event. And like you said, I think we're at 22 cars right now, and I believe there's like 7 more cars, I think, from the Whittemore Speedway itself that'll be joining in on that too. So it's
So other than for the racers, what can the race fans expect going into Friday and Saturday, the 5th and 6th of the next week, for activity wise and other than the races?
Well, on Friday during the day it's practice from noon till like 5:30, maybe 5:45, I guess, and then that'll start qualifying for the ABC cars, the Legend cars, and the lead sleds. And then once they qualify, they'll run their 4-car dashes and their heat races. After that, we're going to do we just call it Fast Friday. And any mod that's there, if they want to go out and participate in it, they can go out and they can qualify, make a mock qualifying run. And the guy that has the fastest lap at the end of the night, he's going to get a $500 bonus. And then once we do that, once the cars are all done, if a guy goes out and he just misses the fastest guy by just a little tiny bit or something, he thinks he left something on the table or whatever, he can re-ante, throw in another $20, which goes to the Cancer Crusaders. He throws another $20 in, and he can go back out and try it again. And we'll let him do that multiple times there, and hopefully we can generate a little bit of revenue there for the cancer group. And then when they're done doing the mock qualifying thing for the mods, then they'll go right into the feature races for the ABCs, the Legend, and the lead sleds. And that'll be it on Friday night for the racing stuff. And then afterwards, the raceway itself, Whittemore Speedway is putting on a pig roast. They're roasting 3 pigs. They got potato salad, macaroni salad, stuff like that, some desserts, and that's going to be right there, held right in the pits there afterwards. We're going to get a half barrel of beer. You can't eat pork without beer.
Exactly.
And then, just have have a pit party or so afterwards. We're figuring the racing and all that stuff will be done somewhere around 9:30ish or so. So just give everybody a chance, new guys that haven't been there before, to meet up with some of the guys that have been there, and everybody get a chance to talk and socialize and have a few beers and kick back and relax and get ready for the big day on Saturday.
And then Saturday, is that when they'll be doing qualifying Saturday for the mods?
Yeah, for the mods there, it'll be practice from noon to 5:45, and then everybody, if they're on Saturday, the only cars that are racing are the modifieds and the legends. So we'll go right into qualifying for the legend cars at 5:45, and then it'll be modifieds. We'll go up and start qualifying from there, and then we'll proceed after that to the 4-car dash, and then we'll go to the last chance races. And then after the last chance races, we'll do the C main and the B main, and then into the A main. There's going to be a meet and greet on the track there before the features start. All the cars, all the mods will be out on the track, giving away stickers and stuff to the kids, just having a good time, maybe some Frisbees or something. And then, just get a chance. I mean, it's a chance for me to get to talk to all the drivers and thank them for coming. And we put it on. We do the raffle drawing at that time, for the people that bought raffle tickets. Either they won the cash prizes or the generator that Mike Provost at Stony Acres Electric donated. A really nice generator. So then we do that part there, and then we jump right into after that, it'll be right into the 100-lap main event for the Hotshoe 100.
The Hotshoe 100. Now, the question, and it's probably more people understand it, but the slogan, Hope is your driver, is there a meaning behind that?
Well, it's just, it's the same that the cancer group itself, they have a motto, slogan or whatever that they follow by. And it's, it's always, like whenever they have fundraisers and different events, I mean, they do like a 50s dance, or they do a softball on ice deal. And it was just a term that they come up with, years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago or whatever, that, hope is what drives them. Everybody hopes that someday they're going to find a cure for cancer, so none of us lose any more of our family members to it. And so they had that saying, a few years back, and we just adopted it for the race. Being you got to have a driver to have a race car, and it just fit for what we were doing.
Now, last question: how are you feeling heading into the third one? Like you say, you're a week away. Your phone's ringing off the hook. Your Facebook's going crazy. Is it getting a little bit easier going into the third year, or because you're getting so big, it's getting even harder?
Well, I mean, I guess both. I mean, we know more what to expect now after doing it a couple of times. So it's easier in that aspect. But, obviously the more cars, the more people are involved. I mean, the harder it is. I would, to be a race promoter every week, I ain't got much hair as it is. I really wouldn't have any hair then, because, it is just, there's no way to make everybody happy. You try to keep everything on the up and a level playing field. And we're just trying to do it for a good cause. And, none of us take a dime from it. We just are just trying to raise money to help people out and, help the racers out. There's, everybody puts countless hours, of their time and their friends' time and their dad's time, and they're all spending time in the garage and spending money doing this. And, it's to go race at your local track or whatever, $400 or $500 to win or whatever. I mean, if you don't win, it's hard to cover your night of racing. And, I just wanted to have a chance to let everybody race this thing. I mean, if they make one lap in this race, they're guaranteed $500 to make one lap. And so pretty much covers their night of racing. I mean, gets it close. They're not spending much money. And if guys have lucky enough to run in the top 10, you'll make yourself $1,000 for finishing 10th. And if you're lucky enough to win the thing, you'll walk away with a cool $5,000.
And that's it. And if you finish in the top 10, really, your weekend's paid for, right?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I don't think many guys are spending much more than $1,000 to come here.
Yeah.
And it's that's the hardest thing. I mean, from traveling, like what we did. I mean, we traveled for years, on the ICAR series, the USA Modifieds, running all over the place. I mean, Winchester, Salem, Angola, all over Indiana. I mean, we went to Tennessee, and it was always so expensive to travel and go and do it. But we felt that it was our level of racing had gotten to that point where we wanted to race against, the best cars in the Midwest here, and it was fun to go race with them guys, and it was very challenging, but it's tough to do when you're only getting $200 to start. I mean, if you didn't run good, that made for a long, expensive weekend, and now these guys, I got them to come up here, instead of me traveling down there, I got them guys to travel up here, and I'm just trying to make it a little easier for them than it was for us sometimes, I guess.
And make it worth a while, and it's like any other event. You put a great event on, the best promotion is word of mouth when they go back to their home track for the rest of the season for next year, right?
Yeah, very, very much so. And then it's some of the other local tracks. I mean, Spartan Speedway, they give their guys a mulligan night or so, I guess you want to call it. They can miss that Friday night on the 5th. They can miss that night of racing and not affect them in their points. And the tracks working with them like that. Wausau Speedway did the same. They give the mods that night off so they could, the cars that run over there could come over and race and compete for the big purse. And it's, like I said, I mean, I can't even come close to thinking of all the people that have a hand in the way everything works out. But, I'm very, very grateful for all of them, and couldn't ask for, it's great. I mean, it's very hectic, and, sometimes it's frustrating a little bit. Other times it's super rewarding, and then the weekend gets here, and it's all hustle and bustle, and then Sunday morning you wake up and it's over, and you're like, holy mac, was that the coolest thing you ever did?
It's like more or less like Christmas dinner, right? You work.
Sure.
It's over. It's done, and it's like, where did it go?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's like.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Bud. And like I say, Rev It Up Racing is going to be down there to cover it also, and we'll be down next weekend to cover the event. So everybody follow Rev It Up Racing, and Bud, we'll see you next weekend.
Yeah, very good. I appreciate you guys taking time out to come down and support it and cover it, and hopefully it just brings more awareness. We got some pretty cool things going on with it. It's getting more and more attention all over the place. Circle Track Magazine's going to be there to do an article on it. And we had some conversations with a TV crew there that sounds like possibly next year there we'll be able to have it on a 2-week delay or whatever televised race. And just trying to make it bigger and better. And next year, our goal is right now, the one sponsor that we're looking at that's looking at the race, if it goes off well this year, and next year we're hoping to pay $1,000 to start the race.
Oh, wow.
So we're just going to keep getting bigger and better, hopefully, and we'll get her up there so far, and then one of these years, maybe someone else take it over, I guess, and maybe I can go back to watching it and enjoying a cold beer and rooting for my favorite driver.
Now, I know you might not get them all, but is there some sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I mean, King Erectors out of Tawas, they were big contributors this year. The Boat Doctor over in Indian River, Michigan. Gray's up north, which is my dad and stepmom. The Whittemore Speedway. I mean, they've been, they really stepped up to the plate this year and, took care of the pig roll stuff. And, they get they're sharing grandstand money that comes through the gates on the grandstand side. They're giving a portion of that to the Cancer Crusaders this year. And the 50-50 drawing and stuff is, half goes to the lucky winner and the other half goes to the Cancer Crusaders. And it's, you can't thank those people enough for that. And then we got some local sponsors down there as the ABC rent-to-own thing there. Chuck, he donated a 55-inch plasma big screen TVs. It's $1 a ticket to buy a ticket for the thing, and somebody's going to walk out of there, I think, with a 55-inch plasma color TV. I mean, it's Mike Provost there at Stony Acres Electric for the generator. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen one of those generators, but I mean, you can't even hear that thing running. It's about the size of a suitcase, and it's they're awesome.
So one of the drivers would love that then.
Oh yeah, everybody would love to have one of those in their trailer. I can tell you that. I mean, you can't even hear the thing run.
Yeah.
So it's there's lots of people involved in it, and I know I'm missing out on some of them for sure, but it's just hard to remember them all when they get to be that many people involved.
Totally understandable. Well, thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, sounds good.